Welcome to today's golf fitness workshop. Today we're going to talk about the kinematic sequence, what that is, how you can test for it at home, and ways we can begin training your body to move in the ways that it's needed to in the golf swing. So, Titleist Performance Institute has found that nearly every efficient ball striker, meaning people on tour, ones that can hit the ball far, ones that have a high club head speed, they've been linked to having the same sequence of initiating movement at the top of the backswing, despite how wild their swing might be in terms of differences. So, if you think about this sequence, the way it works is if you grab a club, when you get to the top of your backswing, wherever that may be, they find in nearly every efficient ball striker, like I said, your body initiates movement in a particular manner, from your hips to your trunk, to your shoulders and arms, to the club. So when it does this, this sets up efficient force transfer from your lower body all the way to the club. So regardless if you're John Daly, anyone that has some of these crazy swings out there, they still most likely start in that same pattern. They found this from training thousands of players. Now the big takeaway you take from this, amateur golfers like ourselves here, is what they actually find is nearly the opposite, right? So you get to the top of your backswing, and then what happens is the club, arms, shoulders, trunk, then hips. Now this happens by milliseconds. I don't want you thinking about this the next time you're on the range or necessarily driving the ball when you're playing 18. But the reason why this is key is we can begin training your body to initiate this movement in the gym and with other different golf fitness exercises. So a little test you can do at home is what I want you to do. This is from Titleist Performance Institute's or TPI's 16-point fitness assessment. So what you're going to do is get into whatever you consider to be your 7-iron posture. Then you're going to cross your arms across your chest. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. Now in this position, what I want you to try to do at home, you can do this in front of a mirror if you need to for a little feedback, is you're going to go ahead and try to rotate your hips side to side while keeping your upper body still. Now, if you're at home looking in the mirror right now, checking this out, notice how I'm rotating side to side. I don't want to see the shrugging movement. I don't want to see like just the knees moving. And then the other thing that would constitute a fail on this test is I don't want the whole body moving. Now this test is looking to see if you can separate the lower body from the upper body. Because if we think about that kinematic sequence of initiating movement from the top of the backswing, if we think about when we get here, if you can't do this movement, right, then most likely your lower body or your hips will not be able to initiate the beginning of the downswing. This leads to a lot of other swing characteristics, and the big thing is it leads to lack of power. So follow up to that test. Grab a nearby golf club, a dowel rod, something like that. You're going to get in that same stance like you're holding a 7-iron, and what you're going to try to do is turn your hips side to side here. If you before were shrugging, before moving the whole body, but now you go to do it and you can do that rotational movement, then that shows me we need to work on your core strength and your body's ability to learn that movement. However, if you find that you don't have any improvement in that, we need to work on your hip mobility. Today's workshop, we're mainly going to focus on a little progression you can do at home to train your body to learn how to do this rotational movement, so that way when you grab the club next time and over time, now you're going to start to be able to turn the hips to lead the downswing. So you can keep using that club. I have a nearby dowel rod. So what we're going to use is a little dowel rod. I'm going to kneel down here on a pad. You can use a pillow at home, a kneeler you may use for gardening. You're going to get in this position, kneeling, feet on the ground. Grab a dowel. You're just starting real tall. So if you fail this test, this is kind of the beginning point. What you're going to try to do is turn your hips side to side in this position. The key is it's not really fast. We're still not shrugging, just that rotational movement. Now this is a stepping stone because this is easier. Now you don't have to control your entire legs. It's just the hips moving without the knees and feet being involved. Key is we're still not moving the body, right? The whole body, you should say. It's just the hips movement. It's an activity you can try right here with me right now. It's something to continue to do at home if it's challenging. I like to do this one in 3 sets of 10. So you can kind of do 10, go to another exercise, different activity, and you come back to it or do it throughout the day. Now that's the easiest progression if you fail that test. Next progression is with a little medicine ball like this, a stability ball, anything like that. So you're gonna hold this ball against your core. The idea is you're gonna try to keep your core tight. No longer a rod to bear weight through, and then you're gonna try the same thing, turning the hips side to side. Trying to keep your core tight, ball against the abdomen here. Again, not trying to shrug up and not trying to move the whole body. Notice how my shoulders are staying still. Like we said, this is teaching your body how to learn to do that rotational movement. Now, once you're able to do that successfully, both those, then you can move on to the standing position, getting closer to being able to swing that club with initiating the hips for the downswing. So, next thing, let's get it back into that 7-iron posture, bearing some weight through this club. Acts like an extension on your core. What you're going to go ahead and try to do is now go ahead and rotate those hips side to side. So again, pushing through that, rotating the hips side to side. If you're still unable to do this in the standing position, then you need to regress back to that kneeling one, either with the ball or the support, and then keep working on your core stability and your hip mobility. Okay? Then once you're able to do that, nice little drill just to continue to do over time to keep up that mobility is just in the standing position, doing that test again. Just trying to rotate. One little cue that Chris Kruger uses sometimes is weight into one heel, weight into the other heel. Weight into one heel, weight into another heel. If that helps you be able to get that rotation. So that's a little progression I'd like you to try doing at home to really work on the hips being able to initiate the downswing. Now, it's important, if you just do that over and over again, it should improve. However, if you have an underlying core stability deficit or your hips aren't as mobile, you could stand there with that dowel rod all day, and most likely it isn't going to get that much better without addressing other areas. So let's talk about next, a hip mobility and a strength core stability exercise you can try doing at home. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera here. Bear with me for a second. Bringing you on down here to my mat here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just move one thing here. So one thing you can try doing at home for core stability is a great exercise that I love called bird dog. So on your hands and knees here, you can either be on your fists or your hands flat, whatever's more comfortable for you. What I want you to first start doing, if you haven't done this before, is practice drawing your belly button in. Notice I'm not holding my breath, I'm talking to you, and relax. Draw the belly button in. You probably can't see I'm tightening at home here. And then relax. Try that again, draw the belly button in, hold for 5 seconds, keep breathing. Good, and relax. Next step, draw the belly button in, straighten one leg out with keeping your low back really flat. Hold for 5 seconds. Good, back in. We're gonna try a couple just like that. Tighten the core, straighten the other leg out. Hold for 5. Good. Core tight, straighten the other leg out. Hold for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Straighten the other leg out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if that's challenging, keep going with that. I'm going to go to the next progression here. Go ahead and tighten that core. Now you're going to straighten the opposite leg, opposite arm out. So we're going to do right arm, left leg. Still keeping that core tight. And switch to the other side. Notice my low back isn't moving. Hold on for 5 seconds still. Good. We're gonna do 5 more like this. Hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that core drawn in. Don't hold your breath. Keep that low back real still. None of this shaking. If that's too difficult, you can also do shortened reach and shortened kick of the leg. 1 more. Good. Just got 1 more on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an excellent core stability one to be able to start working on that control of the core to hopefully be able to start initiating the hips for initiating the downswing. Oh, another thing you can do is we're just going to do a simple little hip stretch here called the piriformis stretch. So this one, just lying down on your back, you place a little pad underneath your head if needed, cross one leg over. Now the piriformis has some different ways it attaches in different people, some anomalies. So, and depending on how your hip moves, there's 2 different ways to do this stretch. You can pull the knee towards the opposite shoulder, like this, till you feel a good stretch back through here. If that's easier, you're fine, you have to go for a really far way to feel a stretch. Try instead pushing the knee down. Now, whichever way you feel the stretch more, I want you to pull and hold it for 30 seconds. Got you on the clock. Just taking deep breaths as you do this. Halfway there through this one, keep breathing. Very good. I'm going to do 2 more like that. Again, pull this way towards the opposite shoulder or push down, depending on where you feel more of a stretch in the back of your hip here. This should not be painful. If it is, don't press as hard. If you're someone who experiences low back pain as you play golf, either during a round or after, one big thing you can do to help yourself is make the hips as mobile as they possibly can be. The more mobile they are, the more it takes stress off your low back. So important to check for that test I showed you before, the pelvic rotation. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and switch to the other leg. So same thing, either the pressing down or the pulling to the opposite shoulder here, just so you feel a good stretch over 30 seconds. Since this is just a stretch, not a vigorous exercise, this is one you can try a couple times per day. All right, good. Let's try, I'm going to try the opposite way just to demonstrate here, just pressing down. Keep breathing as you're doing this. Good. Another one like this. Take deep breaths in and out. Halfway there for this one. Notice I'm not shifting my whole body, right? Just trying to keep your low back flat as you're doing this one. All right, very good. Just gonna go ahead and adjust my camera here. So those exercises are excellent for you to try at home. Every once in a while, you can retest yourself, get back in that position and see how you're able to do that movement. Over time, this should become refined and much smoother. Keep a lookout for more of these videos coming weekly to you via Kings Creek Facebook, Instagram. Also, feel free to check in for more frequent, shorter videos on Empower You PT's Facebook and Instagram. And if you are dealing with any aches or injuries or looking for any personalized golf fitness exercises to do during these crazy times where we're stuck at home more often, feel free to reach out to me. I am offering virtual physical therapy and TPI fitness assessments leading to individualized golf fitness programs. So that's something I'd love to help you with if you are interested right now. Feel free to reach out to me with the below contact information if you are. Hope you continue to stay healthy and well. Thanks.